Yo, what up? Welcome to Mo Boxing No Problem. I'm Jose Morales Jr. and I'm joined by my co-host Seek. And today we got a special guest. We got a pro boxer, Mathias. How's it going, Mathias?
What's up, guys? How are you? I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Oh, no problem, man. Thanks so much for making the time.
Yeah, of course.
First question we got for you. I'm sure you get asked this all the time, and it's how did you get into boxing?
Man, I was an athlete like my whole life. My mom's from Uruguay, so I started walking very young, before a year, and as soon as I started walking, put a ball in front of me. So started playing soccer growing up, and then it turned to baseball, water polo, swimming, uh, roughhousing with my brothers and my cousins. So I was always, doing something, and yeah, I just kind of fell into it.
Nice. And I've seen in your introductions, your nickname, One of One, which,
Yeah,
sounds badass.
thank
Gotta
you.
give kudos for that. What is the
Yeah.
origins for that nickname? What's the backstory for it?
Um, you know, as you guys get to know me, all my friends tell me like you're a one of a kind person, bro. You're one of one. I always go out of my way to help people and bring people up, and that's kind of what that alias represents, bro. Is everybody's one of one. You just gotta find your path, find your vision, and really stand out. People get stuck in the rat trap, the hamster wheel, and nobody has to do that. Everybody's one of one. Everybody's unique. There's only one of you in this world. You know what I mean? Only one of
Yeah.
me. Only one of Zeke. So just find what makes you stand out and do that.
No, absolutely. And I think, we sometimes get caught up in trying to emulate somebody, right? Try to be the next, someone that's already made it. But I think if you
Of course.
think about it and just try to be the best you, then you're on the right track.
Yeah, and the stars are the limits when you do that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And now we want to talk a little bit about your amateur career. What were some of your major accomplishments from back in the day?
I was a junior Olympic bronze medal with only like 10 fights. It was my first year at fighting. And then within that same year, I went to Nadim, Russia, Siberia, actually, Nadim, Siberia, and I won a gold medal for Team USA. That was all at junior, 15, 16 years old. And then coming up, winning a couple more international medals. Um, recently in the not recently but more recent in towards the end of my amateur career, I placed third at the Eastern Olympic qualifiers and actually received the wild card spot for the Olympic trials at 64 kilograms, which is 141. But at the time they took out 141 and 132 and they made a category 138, and I received an email stating, hey, you got to requalify. Somebody at the lower weight class coming up has more points than you, more qualifications, so you got to just requalify, go to a tournament again to get to the trials. And I just felt that that was unfair. And over the years, how many titles and how many this I've won for, USA boxing and all that stuff. And I ended up going to Uruguay. I ended up fighting for the national team in Uruguay, and that was that.
Awesome. And now,
Yeah.
you made your pro debut in February 2020 in Burbank, California. What were your emotions heading into your first pro fight?
Man, it's funny. Fucking sorry, can I cuss on this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. Fucking yeah, I was trying to like, I just want to be myself, but yeah. Uh so I'm leading up to the fight, this and that, making my debut at like a catch weight of 128. And freaking everything's going good. And then 5 days notice, like, oh, your opponent pulled out. He wanted more money, with your background and everything, whatever. I said, okay, cool. And he ended up pulling out. And then they got me undefeated dude, 1-0, one knockout, tough dude, for a debuter or whatever. And I said yes right away. I was like, I have plenty of amateur experience. I've seen, little clips on him. Yeah, he's tough, but we'll get the job done. And yeah, I ended up stopping him in the third round after dropping him in the first and the second, and it felt really good, man. I mean, that it was picture perfect. I sold out the place, the Burbank Marriott, on a bash card. Um, it was beautiful, beautiful moment for sure.
That's exactly how you want to make your debut, no doubt.
Yeah,
And then we saw that there was almost a year between your first and second pro fight. And we all know 2020 was a crazy year with COVID and all the restrictions. Did that
yeah.
play at all into your inactivity?
Man, that was the main purpose for my inactivity. It wasn't just a year. Remember, from 2020 to 2022, it was kind of off and on from the
Hmm.
strictness of restrictions and COVID, and guys that were signed to a big promotion weren't even getting fights, let alone guys building their careers on the local cards to get to those bigger promotions. So, um, Yeah, it was one of the main reasons to why I was inactive.
Yeah. And then we saw when you finally got your second pro fight, and it's in Mexico this time, and that
Yeah.
resulted in a majority draw. Can you tell us about the
Yeah.
experience fighting in Mexico, and then what did you learn from that draw result?
So honestly, I that was my third fight. On BoxRec, I'm 6-0-1, so 6 wins, 0 losses, 1 draw. I'm actually 7 wins, 0 losses, 1 draw. My second pro fight was in Rosarito, and BoxRec just didn't count it. But
Hmm.
I sacrificed, I cut the weight, I did everything, to make that fight happen. So I'm gonna always promote myself correctly. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Yep.
So I'm 7-0 with 5 knockouts, 1 draw. And yeah, to get back on your question, it was good. I fought an undefeated opponent in his backyard. Um, and there were some other things happening outside of the ring, due with new members of the team that I brought upon that, weren't making the, you know, I would say most smart or most, yeah, let's just say smart decisions going in, somebody's country, someone's homeland, that early in my career. But it was good. If anybody sees the fight, I think it's on YouTube or somewhere on Facebook, something like that. Yeah, anybody with 2 eyes and a brain knows that I won that fight.
Yeah, unfortunately, when you go up against the home fighter, questionable decisions, right?
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. All my favorite fighters, they either have a draw or a loss or something. You know what I mean? Roberto Duran is my favorite fighter of all time. Look at his tenacity, his ferociousness, and he's just a straight legend. He has like what 5, 7 losses, something like that.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, exactly. So it's basically just a learning experience.
of course,
And you're scheduled to fight next on February 10th on a Marv Nation card. How did that opportunity come to be?
I actually am working with Ray Alcorta. He is my advisor, also my manager, Ron Bahat. And, we worked together last fight. And, it's pretty simple. He asks me to, do what I need to do with my fan base here in Los Angeles and, sell tickets and do this and do that and promote the fight. And he's going to get me the fights and keep me active. And that's what we're doing. So shout out to Ray Alcorta.
Awesome. And what can you tell us about your opponent for February 10th, Christian Lorenzo?
He is a veteran, even though he has 8 fights. He is a veteran. He's been pro since what 2012. He's fought at multiple weight classes. Golden Boy has tested him against Joshua. What's his name? Joshua Garcia, I think his name is.
Yeah,
And
Joshua Garcia, bro.
so yeah, he's a tough opponent. Respect to him, but there's absolutely nothing he could do that's going to change the outcome of the fight February 10th, and that's me winning in explosive fashion.
Absolutely. And now looking into the future, if you can, pick any venue in the future to headline, what would be your dream venue?
Man, I don't know why I have this vision. I have this thing. Me and Pitbull Cruz. I have a Latino background. Yo hablo español. Mi gente en Uruguay. Shout out to them. But I just have a feeling that me and Pitbull sometime down the line will sell out, the Staples Center. He got his Mexican fan base. I got my fan base. I'm from the San Fernando Valley, which is down the highway from Staples. And I fought at a big venue last year at the Bank of California, and it was a great outcome. And I just see that for myself. I see that for myself. And obviously, I see myself coming out, with a very big W.
Yeah, and he's scheduled to face Rolly Romero, so if he ends up beating him, he's gonna have a championship belt on the line. That could be your 2 years and less.
It's very possible. Look, another thing that I want to point out too about my career, um, I've already fought 3 undefeated fighters in my young career. I'm not scared to take fights as long as they make sense. You know what I mean? Meaning a financial standpoint and a bias standpoint. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be smart to go fight a prospect on a card where it's his promotion, his telecasting, his this, his that. I feel like
Mhm.
you would do that and take that type of risk if you don't have a fan base, if you didn't build yourself a little bit on social media, if you can't sell $20,000 worth of tickets. You know what I mean? I can do all those things. I do have somewhat of a, vision for myself. And anything that kind of veers off my vision, I'm not gonna, really go for it. I built everything that I have myself, my name, my brand, my everything. I built it from the ground up. So and all my sponsors, of course. Shout out all my sponsors. You guys know who you are, but you know what I mean. From 12, 13 years old till now, this is all me. This is me handshaking. The people who buy my tickets are the people in the community. You know what I mean? When I'm running, they honk at me, tell me to keep going, champ. I train kids in my community as well in the San Fernando Valley, and it's their parents buying tickets. It's them coming, them telling their friends that their coach is fighting. So just a huge shout out to them. You know what I mean?
That's big, and yeah, you absolutely need to know your worth, and like you
Of
said,
course,
if you
of
check all those
course,
boxes, you get what you put in.
of course.
Um, I also want to ask you about what weight class you plan to win your first title at. I know you're currently at 135. Is that kind of where you plan to campaign for a title, or do you eventually move up to
No,
140 and win there?
no. So actually, to put another thing into perspective, these fights, even with undefeated fighters, it would be on 2 weeks' notice, 3 weeks' notice. Yes, of course, I'm in the gym. I'm always in shape. I'm a workhorse. I'm a professional, but I'm not going to make 126 pounds within 2 or 3 weeks. I need a full 6 to 8 week camp, just like any professional. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? If I'm acting
Yeah.
professional and doing my job, why can't I be given 6 to 8 weeks to, be given to make the proper weight class? So saying that 2, 3 weeks notice, I would have to fight at lightweight. I would have to fight at catch weights.
Hmm.
So I think Andres, one of my opponents, I had to meet him at 137 because he's originally a 140 pounder. And it's like, to be realistic, I shouldn't even be up there. I'm going to be fighting this next fight at a catch weight at 132 and then making my way down to 128 and then 126. So to go back to your original question, my first title will be at 126.
Nice. Yeah, no, I know Zeke had mentioned
Okay.
that. I think your last fight you took on really short notice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I was at the last event for the Marination event, and I'm like, oh
yeah.
shit. And
Mhm.
so when I found out, I'm like, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah. And it was a great outcome too. I sold plenty of tickets, a good money amount. I don't want to put like a direct number on it, but I put some
Oh,
money for
great.
these local promoters. You know what I mean? And I sold just in 2 weeks' notice. Let's just say a five-figure amount. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
no, I mean that's impressive that you're fighting naturally bigger guys and on short notice. So
And I'm still
kudos.
stopping them. I'm still putting them down. I have power in both hands. I have an exciting style. You know what I mean? It's like, what more do these guys want? I can speak Spanish. I can speak English. I have a big fan base in one of the epicenters of Los Angeles of boxing. I'm exciting. I put people on their toes. Even for people who don't go there and support me on these cards, they come back when they see me on the poster. They want to see
Hmm.
me fight. I keep people on their toes. I knock people the fuck out. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
if I don't knock them out, guess what? I'm just pushing them back and beating them up the whole fight, the whole entire fight. There's no other outcome of the fight when you fight me.
You're also training with the best. We saw on Instagram. There's a picture of you and Gervonta Tank Davis.
Yeah.
Looks like you guys sparred together. How was that work?
Yeah, over the years I've been able to start sparring with pros and upcoming prospects like that when I was 15. So I sparred him kind of recently. It was great work. We did 6 rounds. It was the day after Christmas. Uh Somebody hit up my coach at the time and was like, "Hey, you guys want to do 6 rounds with Tank?" And we're kind of like, "Damn, I just finished 2 hours of training. I got all this, these clothes on me. I'm drenched." But then my coach looked at me and I looked at him. I was like, "Fuck it, let's go. Come on. Like, what's the worst that's gonna happen?" Type shit. And
Yeah.
then yeah, we just got to work. It was really good work. I got my respect after the training. He asked me how many fights I had. At the time I was still amateur. He was like, "Damn, you're still amateur, bro. You need to turn pro. You're real good." Calvin put me to the side and just give me my props and said I'm real tough, and that I have a bright future in boxing. And having those experiences with Tank, with Lomachenko, with Leo Santa Cruz, countless Olympians. I even sparred Victor Ortiz. I sparred the Magladano brothers. Just
Oh
champion,
shit.
champion, champion. Bro, so many, so many. So it's not just an amateur
Yeah,
resume since I
honestly, I
was
wasn't expecting
15.
you to. Yeah, yeah. Honestly,
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting you to say all these, but damn, bro, that's props to you, honestly.
Yeah, even when I was young, Diego De La Hoya, out in Indio at the time. It just, bro, I'm telling you, 12, 13 years in this shit, it's been all me through Instagram, through handshakes, getting these opportunities, getting these, yeah, like I said, opportunities and big moments like that. You know what I mean? So,
Hmm.
everything from the ground up. So shout out to everybody else that's, paving their own way, because if you have a vision, you got to protect it at all costs, and don't let anyone steer you off your vision. You know what I mean?
That's awesome. Shout out to you for starting from the bottom, basically building all the way up.
Yeah, yeah, man.
And you mentioned a lot of names there, so I got to ask you now, who's been the hardest puncher you've been in the ring with, either in sparring or in a pro fight?
The hardest puncher I ever been with, it was a guy from Montenegro. He was knocked out by Mikey Garcia. He's the shortstop. He's southpaw. What's his name? I forgot his name. But he fought Mikey Garcia at 135. At the time, I was like 19 or 20. I was walking around maybe a buck 25, maybe. And you know, I was boxing really well, and like I saw he was loading up on that overhand left because he's southpaw. And I was like, you know what? Let me just block it and see what's up with it. Let me test his power. And I did, and I blocked it, and I felt it through my glove. And and after that, I was like, screw that, bro. Let's keep boxing. Let's keep being smart. Let's not, do anything like that. So I would say he is probably the hardest puncher, like physically strong. You know what I mean? Obviously, Tank, you know, is very strong. He has knockouts, but you guys have to understand there's a method to that madness, and it's not even really him directly being so strong. It's him timing you as you come in, countering you. So it's your weight coming forward, your energy transferring to his energy. He's meeting you in the middle from your weight to his punch, and
Hmm.
that's what happens. It's lights out. You don't brace yourself for those type of shots. You eat it clean, and it's like you're either gonna eat it and keep moving forward, or you're gonna get clipped.
Yes, sir.
The
Absolutely. And
name of the
then
game.
and then Matheus, you'll have to correct me on here because like you mentioned, there's that one fight missing in BoxRec, but what's not
Yeah.
listed on BoxRec, 4 of your 6 wins have been by knockout, and 3 of those
Uh-huh.
have been in the first round.
Yeah.
So, what's been some of the feedback you received from your power from like your sparring partners?
There's a couple sparring partners that told me like, that's the best pressure work that they've ever gotten. Again, remember, I feel like pressure fighters are kind of seen beneath, the sweet science, right? But there's a method behind every madness. Look at every pressure fighter right now. Look at Lomachenko. Look at what's his name? Subriel Matias, the other Matias. Look
Yeah.
at so many other guys. Look at so many other guys who are very intelligent as they come forward. Mikey Garcia, pressure fighter, yeah, he countered, but again, there's just so many examples that I could bring to you. Even back in the day, like Holyfield, pressure fighter, even though he boxed, obviously he was a pressure fighter. These are tall guys, Riddick Bowe, big guys who still fought and pressured. So as far as my power goes, I've been always been told since I was a little kid that I was very physically strong. And in my fights, you could see, it's either I'm wearing them down and I stop them by, exhaustion, or like I'm catching them clean and knocking them out.
Yep. And then, who was your favorite boxer growing up?
Man, growing up, I only started boxing at like I culminated eighth grade, and it was that summer I started kickboxing. And then that fall, going into turning 13 years old, I started boxing. So I didn't really start watching boxing until like 14. And I like the classics, man. It's different every month, every this, every that. But like I said before, my favorite of all time is Roberto Durant. You got to put Sugar Ray Leonard up there. Riddick Bowe is one of my favorite fighters. Mixes it up on the inside, still a big dude, and can box, do a little bit of everything. Same thing with Holyfield. You have the Hawk. Back in the day, his last name is Jackson, Julius Jackson, I believe. Knockout artist. He fought Ken Norton as well. I study those type of fights, even though their hand placement and their movements are different, and they use the cross guard and the old school style boxing. You could still pick up a lot. They were ferocious back then. They weren't fighters, doing what they're doing today. There's not. That's what I mean. There's not fighters doing what they're doing today. And I feel like my style brings that type of ferocity, that type of old school mentality, that type of like, no, I'm not going nowhere. You want to fight? Let's fucking fight. Like, come on. I'm not going nowhere. And
Hmm.
in Uruguay, they call it garra charrua. It's like even on your last breath, you got no more breath, you still give one more breath. You know what I mean? So there's no giving up in me.
Nice. And now, speaking of kind of pound for pound best fighters today, who do you consider
Mhm.
to be the number one pound for pound?
It's hard. It's hard right now. Inoue has to be up there, even though he's a smaller weight class. He has to be up there. Undisputed in what now? Two weight classes, 118 and 122. Terrence Crawford has to be up there. Obviously Canelo has to be up there, and I would say that's my top three in no specific order.
Can't go wrong with any of those names for sure.
Yeah.
For this next segment, I want to pick your brain on some either confirmed or rumored matchups and just
Okay.
see who you think would win. If it's too close to call, you can always just say 50-50, or you can also just pass on it.
Okay, cool.
All right, first one I want to ask you about is Teofimo Lopez versus Jermaine Ortiz. How do you see that one playing out?
That's a good fight. Jermaine puts pressure, intelligent pressure. He kind of switched stances. Teofimo Lopez's style is so athletic, kind of like a Roy Jones Jr., and he's still young, he's still sharp. So I kind of have to lean more towards Teofimo Lopez on that one.
All right, next one. It's the undisputed heavyweight matchup happening in a few weeks. Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk.
Mm, that one's a good one because I am a smaller dude, but I always find a way, I always make it happen. Usyk is very intelligent. He fought heavyweight in the amateurs. Tyson is just 6'9", 270, 275. And when he's in shape, we've seen it. When he's in shape, he's not really touchable. And when he does, he has an incredible chin. So I have to lean more towards Tyson Fury on this one. Even though I might, to be honest, to everybody, I might eat my words on that one, but I have to do it because, bro, imagine being a smaller dude and he's leaning 275 pounds on your back. You get on the
Yeah,
inside, you're working him. Obviously, he's gonna box through his angles, but like you have to fight at some point, and you know him using that strategy, learn from Klitschko. It's gonna be interesting.
definitely. Next one. This one was just recently announced. Tim Tszyu versus Keith Thurman.
Tim Tszyu,
Tim Tszyu, yeah. I
yeah.
think Keith Thurman's been too inactive.
Two inactive activity is key, and yeah.
Perfect. All right, then this last one. This one's been rumored. Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford.
Obviously, skills pay the bills. Method to every madness. I don't see Terrence, and I know he's strong, and we see him wrestling, and he's very physically strong. He's even shown like pictures on his IG of him weighing like 177 pounds. For a fact, he might be even 180, moving up to 147, and walking around that size. Uh, it's a toss up for me. Um, just due to his skills and what he showed with what's his name? The guy he just fought. He stopped him.
Errol Spence.
Errol Spence. What he just showed with Errol Spence. But
Mm-hmm.
let's just lean towards Canelo. But that's a great fight. Those two are on our pound for pound list. And shout out to them to make that fight happen in a time of boxing where it's more political rather than the best fight the best. And yeah, I like it. I like that fight. I'm leaning more towards Canelo, but again, that's a fight that I could also eat my words on.
All
But
right.
that's my personal opinion. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, that's a 50-50 fight for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Come back to you. What do you like to do outside of boxing? What are some of your interests and hobbies?
Outside of boxing, man, I like to just hang out with friends. You know, uh, I like to go over to friends' houses and chill with them. I also like spending time with family. I have two nephews. Love them so very much. I have a goddaughter, one of my best friends. I'm the godfather of his daughter, and just hanging out with everybody, man. Just I like to be chill. I don't like to be too much in the mix. Obviously, I like to go around, hang out with friends and this and that, but we're not doing anything crazy. We're eating. I'm a professional. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do none of that. I never actually smoked in my whole entire life. 25 years young, and just no point. I'm a professional, and like I said, 2 years or less, I'm world champion.
Go. And then what does your Uruguay along with your Southern California roots mean to you?
I'm so proud to be from the 818. We have so many diamonds in the rough. Shout out to everyone in the San Fernando Valley. Um, so many diamonds in the rough, and we don't really get a lot of promotion. And I hope that I motivate people. I get constant requests or DMs, you know, telling that I motivate them just, for my work ethic, just for my passion. And that means a lot to me. So shout out to everyone in the 818, everybody in Uruguay. Muchísimas gracias por tu apoyo. Gracias a todos. Mi familia, te amo muchísimo. Y nos vemos pronto. Te amo. And yeah, that's it, man. Being from Uruguay and having a good history from Uruguay, Warriors blood, the Leon blood, and all that stuff. It's good, man. It means a lot to me.
Nice. And then if you were giving advice to someone that wants to go pro and making career out of boxing, what's the best piece of advice you would give them?
There's so many blueprints to come up, man. There's so many blueprints. And if you have a vision, like I said in the beginning, stick to that vision. There's no reason to start and then start over and start from ground one. If you're here and it's fucking hard, you don't want to be here, you don't want to do it no more, do it. Keep pushing, stick to your vision, because you are this much closer. If rather than starting from the beginning, you're this much closer to the finish line. And of course, in anybody starting up a business or a career like this, there's no saying that you're going to make it 100%. But the only thing to guarantee yourself from not making it is giving up and, doing nothing. So, just stick to your vision. If you want to go pro, look at some of the ways that these young dudes came up. Teofimo Lopez, how he came up out of the amateurs, he was signed at top rank. If you have the luxury of getting signed out of the amateurs because you have a father figure or a father that's speaking to management who are scouting at the qualifiers or the trials or whatever it may be, the nationals, that's great. You have that luxury. I would pull up to tournaments without a coach and still fucking win. You know what I mean? I would fly 14 years old. I'm going to school working, cleaning the gym for gym dues because I didn't have money back then at 14. Who has money? But I had to, pay the gym somehow. So, and working on the side construction, 14 all the way to 18, and finally I started getting sponsors. But, stick to that vision. It's all going to be worth it. And just after 12 or 13 years, I'm just starting to feel it, starting to feel everything come together. So, yeah, if you're going to turn pro, look at how these guys came up. Ryan Garcia's a good way. He built himself up in Mexico, made his USA debut, got signed. Devin Haney didn't make any big promotional deals. His father moved him well. His team moved him well. Maybe they had some money backing. Who knows? I would say get a money backer so you could fight constantly, get your name out there, build your name through YouTube, Instagram, any other social media. We got TikTok too. People go viral so fast there. And build yourself up like that. I give you 3 blueprints. There's plenty of other, but my vision is my secret. And like I said, 2 years or less, you guys will see one of the first accomplishments, big accomplishments, and that's me becoming a world champion at 126 pounds.
Great advice. We can't wait to see that 1-of-1 blueprint.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
And then for the final question we got for you, it's not really a question, it's more so now opening up the floor. What's the message you want to send to your fans and supporters?
Just thank you guys for constantly believing in me. I'm a human being just like you guys. I bleed red. I breathe oxygen just like you guys. And there's nothing putting a difference between me and you except the fact that I choose. I make the choice of going up and beyond every single time. When I'm in the gym, if the question is, should I do an extra round? I'm doing an extra round. I'm getting that much better than everybody else in the gym every day. Am I going to run an extra mile if it's a question in my head? Yes, of course. The answer is absolutely. I'm going to do it. If I'm in a fight, I know I'm winning, but it's going towards the end of the fight. What am I going to do? I'm going to finish strong because, that's what the judges look at. You know what I mean? That's part of my amateur career taught me how to win, whether it be ugly, clean, beautiful or not. You got to find a way to win. And, if I'm in a fight and it's a competitive fight, I'm going to finish strong and make sure that I secure myself that W. You know what I mean? So shout out to everyone supporting me. Shout out to everybody in the San Fernando Valley. Shout out to mi gente en Uruguay. Vamos y vamos. Uruguay no más. And yeah, that's it, man. I'm excited. February 10th, another exciting, explosive W coming my way and the whole MR army.
Almost
Yes,
time.
sir.
And then Mathias, for people that are fighting you for the first time, where can they find you on your social media?
I have Instagram at Mathias Boxer. Mathias. You guys just follow me there. That's why I'm most active. That's why I put most of my time and my promotional spots is there. That's where it's built.
There you go. All right, we'll be tuning in on February 10th. Can't wait to see you back in the ring. Thank you so much for your time, and it was great to talk boxing with you.
Yeah, of course, guys. I love talking boxing. Have me back anytime. It was fun.
Yes.
And again, February 10th, Zeke.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, pull up,
Got you.
Zeke.
You again. Good to
Got
see you
you.
again. Shout out to Mo Boxing, correct? Mo
Yeah.
Boxing, Mo
Mhm.
Boxing.
Yeah.
And
Yes, sir.
yeah, we're both on the come up, both coming up, and I'm excited to see what the future holds.
Yes, sir.
yeah.
Yeah, of course. You're welcome back anytime, Mathias. Thanks again.
Thank you, guys.
All right, take care. Have a good
All
night.
right.